Just a couple of minutes afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. Samantha will be back with us, we hope, tomorrow. She's out on assignment. And we have a really interesting day today. Of course, we got a really nice situation going on in the Rainbow Six. Let's check this out, see what's going on there. There was 2 singles yesterday.
Wow.
The 2 and the 7. 7 was up there trying. The 2, not so good. That was my long shot. 225.
Big number out there, yeah, and it's only going to rise exponentially. So get involved. But as Ronnie said, just yesterday with a big pool, what was yesterday, 200 or so?
Yeah.
You got a couple singles out there, so it's not unattainable by any stretch of the imagination. And that's a big number out there, around 2.25.
Brian, before we get into this, want to make a note of this, that our sister track up at Pimlico, closing week of Pimlico, weekend of Pimlico, boy, they got those nice carryovers left over from the Preakness day. And in the Rainbow Six, there's $315,000. That starts in race number 3. And the Super High Five, you have it the 6th race every day. I think there's $258,000 in that. So that's a sister track, Pimlico. So make sure you check that out before you good chance to bring that down today with that 8 race card and a nice chunk of change with starting with 315 in the Rainbow Six. The first race today is going to be 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are maiden 2-year-olds, and we got some scratches in here. We've got to try and figure out what happened here. Scratch the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 8. So we're starting the day with a 3-horse field. These 2-year-olds, you don't know, maybe there was, I don't know. I just don't know, so we'll see how it goes. And, the number 3, War Warrior. But you put a ticket together, and let's check out the Pick 5 ticket.
I will be alive after this race, Ron. I promise you that, my friend. We'll get into it in a second. In race number 2, I'm down on the inside with Grand David on a speed play for Victor Barboza Jr., who just keeps on keeping on. In race 3, the 2, Roseview for Roger Lauren, who popped the other day at a big number on the turf. 41, Condora. I have to single Condora in the early pick 5. I did not do that in the early pick 4, but with this race 1 kind of thrown out of whack, I had to do that. My long shot is 55, Sword Zorro. I think it's a good time to try to beat Fly the W on the turf. I'll try to do it with Sword Zorro in there.
Yeah, getting back to this first race with this 3-horse field, the number 3, War Warrior in here. I don't know if you had this one on top. I scratched into it. Yeah. You have the 7. We'll start with the 7, Fear the Facts, and then we'll show that video, War Warrior.
I did scratch into the 7 here. I had the 6 on top, but Fear the Facts now. I think it's a double edge here, is that A, we've already run against 2 first-time starters. B, it's a 3-horse field. We're outside the other 2 horses. I think both of those are positives, Ron.
Yeah, anytime you have a horse that's run, a 2-year-old especially that's had run, they got that previous experience. They know what's going on. So with that said, the number 3 horse in your War Warrior, who's a half-to course called Cabo Spirit, it was a grade 2 winner, and this one debuting for Mark Cassie. And we have a little video we want to show. I guess it's a workout. Yeah,
we'll take a look at it now. It's always good. Samantha's not with us today, but it's always good to see this. And this is a turf work. And the horse Ronnie mentioned, Cabo Spirit, that grade 2 and 3 winner on the turf. So what happens today on the Tapeta? We don't really know, but this is War Warrior on the inside, pretty well within himself. His stablemate here a little aggressive, but it doesn't seem to bother him any down on the inside. The stablemate really wants to go, but War Warrior's composed. I always think, too, when you're working inside a horse, Ron, and as you're a 2-year-old that's yet to start, I think that's kind of a feather in your cap a little bit, because that is the type of circumstances that can unnerve young horses, unraced horses, but he seemed to handle it pretty well there.
And the number 2 horse, Legal Maneuver, is a first-time starter from Carlos David, and he does good with his first-time starters, 21%. He does good with his 2-year-olds, he's 17%. And you got journeyman Jose Ferrer in the saddle. And by the way, Jose Ferrer will be down here all summer long.
Yeah, we've got a stat here. I did not know that. He's here all summer. Okay, that's good. No Monmouth. That was new to me while I was gone. We have a stat, right, on Carlos David? Guys, can we pull that up, I think? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Not race 2. Thank you, guys. 12%. It's not great, okay, but it's not. But Carlos is a guy that's, you see first-time starters, 21%. You see what he's doing, 29% at the meet. So maybe if you're trying to beat him, that this might not be the worst spot to do it in a 3-horse field. Maybe that's kind of watered down a little bit, but food for thought.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon. It's 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. The turf is firm, of course. These are claimers. They're 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. And we have a full field of 9 going to go to the post. And we got a couple of jockey changes to let you know about. Jose Morales will be office mounts all day today. That's Hector Diaz Jr. And on the number 8 horse, it is Anthony Thomas. Now, what do we got going here? We got the tropical turf.
Yeah, let's show that.
Let's show that one first. We'll go with the tropical turf that Samantha put together, and she's going 167 in here. I'm in agreement with the 1 and the 6 in there, and then she in race number 5, just too deep for her with the 1 and 4, and she's got your single in there, Condora, and she also, was that the race? No, this is the race here. She's hot-blooded, which I like today, and the 4 fly to W, and then she's got a single in race number 8 today, and that is the Nishiran, and that is Rohan Kreiton, and that's the all-term. This thing plays great. $18 is that ticket.
It's a phenomenal bet for the player. 15% takeout, $3 base minimum, and I think that really spices things up. And Samantha, who, like you said, we hope we'll have her back tomorrow, has had a lot of success with this bet, too.
Yeah, so and what else we got going in here? We got an early pick.
We can show the early 4 because it is a little different than my early pick 5. What I did was, it's a run back, but in race number 4, I also used the 2, and that is Chloe's Toy. I think they're clearly the 2 to beat in that 4th race, so I used them both. It would have doubled my ticket in the early pick 5, so I went with my top pick in there. But in race 4, we'll go 1-2 in there now.
Well, interested to see who you put on top. I did go with the 1 Grand David in here, and how did you see the race?
I did too, Ron, because, well, we'll talk about Fly the W in a second, but twofold. The interesting thing about this race is we have 2 horses from 2 trainers, Barboza and Debona, Grand David and Fly the W, that are Tapeta horses and not really turf trainers. But Grand David will be much better price. Isn't he loose in here? Isn't he controlling?
I thought he was a controlling speed. You make a great point. The barn going from synthetic to turf is only 4%, talking about Victor Barboza Jr. Of course, he's known for his main track running, so we'll see how it works out. Now, we got a video of the number 6 American Speed. That one, as I mentioned, is going to be ridden by Hector Diaz Jr., and you have this one in second.
Yeah, this is a massive class drop for this horse. He's down mired on the inside. You know those Bob Edwards silks, the E5 silks here for Jerry O'Dwyer, and he's down on the inside. He's going to get out, and Alexis Zorba, this is the one particular day that Alexis Zorba ran so well and forgot to stop, and that's usually he does forget to stop. But this was a good this was the win here, 3 back. Good effort. The form, I don't know if it's gone south since then, Ron, or if it's just that he's facing much, much better. But he's going to get a group today. He's going to like quite a bit.
You know, the number 2 Treasure King in here. If you look at Treasure King, of course, Safi Joseph Jr., our leading trainer, our leading rider, Edgar Zayas. So they were on the turf last time out. This was in a different barn. It was in Native Mubarak's barn. Going into their barn for the first time. They have good stats with that, 20%. I'm keying off that race 2 starts back where this horse ran well, albeit it was on the all-weather surface, but seems to me that this horse has that ability to track. Yeah. And if the one horse doesn't like this surface, maybe the Treasure King, gets up and gets it, because 2 for 4, 2 for 7 on the turf, this horse.
Yeah, he's going to get first run. I think that's a positive. And listen, this is a big move now to Safi, and that's a big, big move up. He's had this horse for a little bit. Good inside stalking position. He is 0 for 3 on our turf course. He's never hit the board, so kind of food for thought. I jumped the gun on Fly the W.
Yeah, that was the one. Third race is going to be 1 mile on the fast main track. That's that 1-turn mile. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We do have 1 jockey change in here, only no scratches, and that's on Lola Loca, and that is David Baracco. And this is the 3rd race here, Brian, and kick it off with your number 2, Roseview, ridden today by Elijah Greenidge.
This is an admitted stab in the dark. I didn't think this horse ran that poorly on debut at Tampa. The interesting thing with this horse here for Roger Lauren, who's not a guy that's going to run a lot of horses, in a 12-horse field at Tampa, this horse was 5-1. So it took some money that day. This is a trainer and jockey that already popped last week, albeit on the turf, at 31-1. The barn has been live. I don't trust anyone in here, Ron, and I think we can build off that debut a little bit, too.
Yeah, I'm going to play the percentages here and go with the leading trainer and jockey with the number 5, and that's Iron Shield. And just look at this horse. Claim for 16, drop to the 12-5 for the comeback. You know that Safi's got tons of horses. They're putting this horse where I think it could win. They're giving it Lasix. And, if you want to pay devil's advocate, why the drop after claiming it for 16? We'll see what happens with this horse.
Where you been? That's what worries me. The drop, it doesn't bother me that much. These are owners and trainers that want to win races, as you said. Where you been? That was in December. Haven't seen you since. Here's the other thing, too, Ron. Okay, she's a 3-year-old filly. She's facing older horses for the first time. She's never even run against 3-year-olds. Those were 2-year-old races last year. She's going to be a really short number. I thought it was a good time to take a shot against her.
Yeah, and Lady Monique, maybe you throw somewhere on the ticket. This one likes to come late. They're going to put blinkers on. Maybe this one will be a little closer to the pace this afternoon. I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket and lots more. We'll be right back.
And they're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. If you're just joining us, a fast main track, firm turf course, all-weather Tapeta. Another beautiful day here in South Florida. No chance of rain, at least I don't see any, but you never know that. You never know in South Florida. As soon as I said that, who knows what's going to happen. Race 4 is going to be a 5.5 sprint on the Tapeta for starter optional claimers, and it's where the Rainbow Six starts. So let's look at my ticket right now. And we went back to the old 4320. We'll talk about this race in a moment. Too deep for me in race number 5. Hot-blooded. I just threw fly to W in just for case. Race number 6, pretty wide open affair. My long shot is in there. That's R Firebird, ridden by Animo Santos. I thought this horse would be part of the pace for a hard-knocking trainer in Gerald Bennett. And then I got some coverage in race number 7. Got some scratches. I lost my top 2 picks in there, I believe. So I bumped up the number 11 horse on top, and that is Vieira. And then in race number 8, there's my single today, and it's the 4, and it is Portofino from Joe Orsino, 9-5 on the morning line. I think that's a horse to beat in there. And in the last, just thought this horses would run well. The 7-1 and the 9, 7 being my top pick. Urban Legend, who's 9-5 on the morning line. So 43-20 for me.
I'm going to tell you what, if they bet him, he might be 2-5 in there because he's coming with big numbers. 2 Jose D'Angelo with Bob Baffert out in California. They're going to fire hard on that horse.
We'll get to this race right now, and I believe this is one of your singles in here, and that's the one Condora, and this one from Eddie Plesa Jr.'s barn, and this horse went really fast early last time out, 21-2, 44 and 2. Had the lead in there, but was dueling, ended up finishing 3rd behind Great Venezuela.
Yeah, who's so good for Victor Barboza Jr. What a freakishly talented filly. Condora is 3. She's going to run against older horses today. I'm just going to hope, Ronnie, that she pops the field. We've seen it time and time again where sometimes it doesn't even matter how fast they go on the Tapeta. They don't come back.
I was talking to Samantha about this up in Pimlico. It's about time where 3-year-olds are ready to knock heads with 4-year-olds. It's getting to be May, June, so I don't put as much stock as I did it earlier in the year. So it's starting. I don't know when you're.
The only thing I'll say is that they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
If they haven't done it, I'll still keep it in mind. But I agree with you now. We're talking June 1st.
Yeah,
not
right.
that big of a deal.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Now, you in your pick 4, you added Chloe's Toy in there, and this one from owner trainer Steve Boudou. This horse has run exceptionally well. First off, the claim for him last time. Ran well, was beaten 3 parts of a length.
Yeah, I'd like to think we're going to get out of this race with one of these two horses, in your rainbow or my picks as well. Steve, very quietly, he does a good job off the claim, and he got improvement out of this horse to take a 3L win, 2 back, and run against those kind of horses last time.
Well, race number 5 this afternoon, 1 mile on the turf. We do have a couple of scratches in here of the 2 Henley's Joy and the 7 Mr. Crowley, and the jockey on the 3 is going to be Edgar Perez. But this is such an interesting race in here because of the presence of Florida W and Hot Blooded in here. But Samantha put a ticket together. I'm curious to see what she does with this late pick 5, and she's going to use both the horses that I think you sort of got to use if you're putting a ticket together like this.
Yeah, I told you he was running today.
Fly
the W.
Couple of late races early. I like the fact that she used my long shot in race 6, the 2R Firebird from Gerald Bennett. She's got 2 deep in race number 7. She's got the 8 on top. I believe Don't Mess with Tess, I would think. Single, same as mine, Portofino. She's thinking like me. She's in big trouble. And then in the last race, 2, 7, and 9, and they are logical contenders in there. I have the 7. I don't know who she has on top exactly, but I think that she's got the logical horses. And the beauty of that ticket, it only cost $18.
Yeah, it's a good ticket. You got that universal single maybe in race A because Portofino's supposed to win in there. He looks really, really salty in there.
But before we show the video of Hot Blooded that I thought ran exceptionally well last time out, I wanted to ask you, we've been talking about Florida W, early now and late, and this one, it was praying for a rain dance, I believe, today, because this one just not as good on the turf.
No, but I will say this, and I picked against them too, and I think it's a gregreat time to pick against them as well. We've got a stat. I'll talk over the stat. Guys, show the stat for Bobby DeBona. Because Fly the W is, he's 2 for 23, 9% turf routes the past 2 years. Now, I don't know how many horses like Fly the W are in that sample, to be perfectly fair. He does actually have a win here, Ron, on turf. He's 1 for 2. It wasn't even with Bobby. He still is the best horse in here. The point of all of this is, we say this a lot, we're gambling here, okay? It's a gambling business. You can't play this horse today. You got to look around.
You got to look around, and like I say, if you're just betting to win, you bet against them. But if you use putting a ticket together, a late pick class, you got to throw this horse on the ticket. Now, here's what I liked about Hot Blooded last time. I'm going to just show you the stretch call of Hot Blooded this day, and just how it kind of turns from there. You see the number 2 horse in here. That's Hot Blooded. So right away you can see this horse is looking for some racing room. Just stuck in behind horses. Typical. You got to find that trip. And I just think this is an excellent move that this horse makes to get up there and just runs a really good race in there. You see, gets slammed off again here. Tight quarters, shakes off everything, and I think runs exceptionally well in that race. I just thought that was so game, ding-donging it right to the wire.
It was a really good effort there. He was better than a head winner, that's for sure. And a cagey ride by Amicio as well to kind of know he had the horse and wait as long as he could to run into the breach there. I've got no knocks on him. I'm just, I am stubborn. I think people probably know that by now. I played Sword Zero last time as my long shot, okay?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that now.
He actually made a pretty good middle move that kind of got me a little excited in the race. And what happened? He came back to earth. He flattened out. Okay, that's fine. But Edwin sticks around. I think that's a big positive now. I saw enough to say, you know what? I'm going to try him one more time. And again, back to talking about Fly the W, who I don't trust. And listen, as good as Hot Blooded did, this is a better group today.
Yeah, is that 5 horse your long shot?
Yeah, that's my long shot.
That's a long shot today. 21 in the morning line, but we did have Henley's Joy was going to be right in the mix today. So that changed my tickets. I bumped up to 6 I had 142, but scratched out of there. So we'll flip the page, and it's a very interesting race for all the reasons we just said. The past 5th race I meant, because just the horses that are running are usually Peter Stars, and now they're going to try and do something different. But he's a good horse that Fly the W. I wish I owned him. 6th race, 5.5 furlongs. These are claimers. They're going to run under Tapita. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 in life. Couple of jockey changes and a scratch on the 4. It's Emissy El Jaramillo. On the number 9, it's Ivan Pimentel Jr. Scratch the 10, Glorious Wave. And now we have your late pick?
Yeah.
Your late pick 4 ticket.
Kicking off with my best bet of the day here, and that's number 7. So I guess I'm going a little different there. Race number 7. I've got the 8, Don't Mess with Tess on top. I'm with Portofino as well, who is carrying a lot of weight on his back and could be a lot lower than that 9-5, judging by everybody's picks here. And then I'll throw the blanket at the finale, Ron. I don't really trust Urban Legend. I think doctor's orders for DJ and Marcassi, very, very interesting, and that's my top pick, the 9. But you can see I want anybody with 4 fast legs in there.
Yeah, I mean, they're nice. This is $9 tickets, so you could always we say this all the time. You can always add and subtract. If you don't want to single, you add another horse. What's it going to $18? So, we got to start it off with your horse in here, and that is the number 7, Red Hot Spark. Easy for me to say. Liz Dobles comes off that maiden whim.
Well, I think that's important, Ron, okay? And this is a good horse for Amicio to take over because he's got speed already, and we know how good of a gate rider he is. There are a lot of horses in this race where there are a lot of one-fers, and the losses are adding up. I know we're facing winners. I get it. The barn hasn't been all that sharp this year. I get that as well, but I just think it's right back with this horse today.
Yeah, and you'll see how it runs with, because, a lot of times you don't want to pick a maiden winner next time out, but with certain spots, I was mentioning this yesterday, you sort of have to do it. Yeah. Now, I got my long shot in here, and it's the number 2 horse, Firebird. I'm going to be ridden today by Ademar Santos. And what does this horse have? Speed and cagey veteran trainer in Gerald Bennett. And most amazing thing with Gerald Bennett, he comes to South Florida after a usually great campaign at Tampa, and just doesn't do that well. No. But I think the speed is what attracted me, and I'm looking for a price. So 10-1, he's got speed. Does he just go? Never been on the Tapita. There's a lot of questions to answer here.
I thought that this horse could get loose in here. I misspoke. Right. Amicio's going to ride the 4, and he's going to put speed in that horse. Right. So now maybe we could get a little tempered up front. It's not a big sample, but you said it perfectly, because this is a barn. What's he, about 20% at Tampa? Yeah. He comes over here. He doesn't win that much. He's 0 for 6 on Tapita. Not a big sample at all. We'll see. I will say this, because we're seeing the name in the entries quite a bit. Theoretically, you would assume the horses he is bringing over here feels like they can handle the surfaces. Yeah,
and I remember years ago he came to when we had Gulfstream at Hialeah, at Calder. He come over, he won like six races in a row or something, 7-10 races in a row when he came down, but hasn't happened in a while. What about the 4 that you have highly rated over me? And that's Taking It All. This is Gary Lee, and this horse, what a maiden win this one was. He just drew off. Now, you look 2 back, he was behind Red Hot Spark. Yeah. But that sort of flat as Red Hot Spark, but this horse ran exceptionally well.
He did, and this is the one Amicio's going to ride, and he's going to put this horse in the race. This horse has been favored heavily, Ron, in his last 3 starts, including over Red Hot Spark. Another horse coming in off a dominant maiden win, and I think that's probably, you can see what I did here. Those are the 2 horses I use, because at least if nothing else, we know where their form is. I wonder on some of these other horses in here, you see these 1 for 25s like an Ave Phoenix. I always try to play against those types.
I like the morning line favorite, and I got him in second to have my long shot, and that is Splurge. And Splurge comes out of a race, an $8,000 2-lifetime claimer, finishes 4th. Going to take the blinkers off this afternoon. I think that's going to help. And that race that he comes out of, 2 horses ran next, and both of them won. So coming out of a little baby key race, and I just thought off the performance, made him the morning line favorite. Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. You didn't use him.
No, I made him the morning line favorite because he was 11-10 last time in that race, and he was 70 cents on the dollar before. I want nothing to do with this horse. To me, no. If she wins, I will not have a good day today at all.
Well, let's go to race. Well, you heard him here first, ladies and gentlemen. I lost my top 2 picks in here with the 7-3. I'll tell you about the race, but it's about a mile 70 yards on the Peter. It's a starter optional claimer. Fillies and Mares 3-year-olds and up at Stratch. The 3 Confer and the 7 Go Margie Go. Both one. I had 7 and 3. Oh, by the way, the jockey on the number 9 singing Sandra is Miguel Vasquez, and I bumped up. I lost 2, and I ended up with the number 11, who you have in second. So let's start with your top pick in here, and that is the number 8, Don't mess with Tess. And I believe Sam had this horse singled, I believe, at one spot at least.
I like this horse a lot today, too. I had this horse on top the whole time. We can show the stat for Team Walensky here. It's not a big sample, but they've done well into Peter routes, 3 for 18, 17%. I got him home, I think it was last week, might have been 2 weeks ago now, doing the same thing, Ron. Running a turf horse under their care for the first time on Tapeta. And I think Don't Mess with Tess, who's 3 for 8, by the way, on Tapeta here. You better look out today.
You know, in the number 11 horse, go to the outside, Bierda, and just look at the barn. Victor Barboza Jr., we talked about him all winter. He was, you know, we for lack of a better way of saying, he was sort of laying in wait for this meet. And boom, what is he winning? At a 33% clip. This horse runs a good second, going a mile in the 16th against 16 claimers. You know, I think this horse can run exceptionally well in this spot.
Absolutely. I had it 8-11 even before all the scratches.
Right.
Unfortunately, with those scratches, the 8 and the 11, they go from 7-2 and 4-1 to possibly 2-1, 5-2 or less. But it is what it is. As Ronnie said it perfectly, a barn really firing. She will face older today for the first time.
Let's go to race number 8. We're going to go back on the grass, which is always a good thing. 5 furlongs on the turf. It's an allowance optional claimer. And these are 3-year-olds and upward. And we have a scratch in here, a couple of scratches. We have the scratch of the 1, Candy Maker, the number 8, Classic State of Mind, and the jockey in number 2, Richie, is Emaciel Jaramillo. And Luca Panici took that fall last week, but he's coming back just a little sore. He's fine.
Yeah.
Just needs a couple of more days, but he will be back.
Yeah, I actually talked to Luca afterwards, and he said he was fine. I think probably what happened was you get a little body sore and stuff, but we hope to see him back soon. One of the good guys around here.
Well, my best bet, Samantha's single in here and everything. And your top pick is Portofino. We got a video you want to show of Portofino, and just got nailed at the wire if we're showing that last one.
Yeah, I'm glad she pulled this up because this was a monster effort. Because the horses now that are inside that he had to duel with throughout, Ron, they finished 7th and 9th. He gets necked out for the win. So that really just shows you how big of an effort this was. Seaver, the franchise, runs him down like frantically here on the wire. This poor guy did everything but win the race. He probably thinks he did win the race. If he runs anywhere close to that today, he'll be really, really tough.
And what about the number, the number 3 horse you have in second, and then that is Cantaro, and I think this horse a decent shot in this race.
Well, here's the thing with Cantaro. You just saw what Portofino does to other speed horses. He absolutely fries them. Well, Cantaro's not going to be around there, so maybe he picks up some pieces in the lane, Ron.
The interesting horses here, and you don't know what you're going to get, is the 7 Abrir Caminos, the one from Chile. And this horse is running well in Chile, coming into America. He's Amador Sanchez, getting Lasix. How do you, this horse was just been working okay.
Yeah, Ron, I didn't know quite frankly, didn't know what to do with him on the morning line. I kind of split the difference. He could be 20-1. He could be 8-5. I'll say a couple things, though. This barn gets a lot of these kinds of horses 0 for 12 first time in North America. Now, it looks like this horse can run. They've bet him every time. He will get Lasix. The barn is going good again, by the way. Just check the tote board. Check him out in the flesh. Me right now at 12:29 in the PM. I'm going to watch one.
Yeah, and you make a great point. You got to watch when you're betting. Say you're betting a late daily double, you got to watch a horse like this because the total try and tell you. You know what I mean? Not the first flash you watch it.
No.
This horse takes steady money.
Double
then
will pays.
you just go check it out. Do the will pays, and like I said, throughout the day because those horses could be anything. With that said, we'll flip the page, go to race number 9. It's 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are maidens, 3-year-olds and upward. Scratch the 6 horse in here. A couple of jockey changes. On the 1, it's Jose Rios, and on Jesus Rios, and on the 8 horse, it is Edwin Gonzalez in here.
I like the 9, Doctor's Orders. It's a spread race for me. You're going to have the favorite, and deservedly so. But Doctor's Orders had the old "they're off, you lose" trip on debut, sprinting on Tapeta. He still ran on. I like that. Didn't like the route last time. We're back sprinting, and he should be a little priced because your horse can take all the money, Ron.
This horse, Doctor's Orders, a half to Yes I Am Free, who is 10 for 30 on the turf. So certainly we know this horse can run well, so he's going to go, and we'll see how he runs this afternoon on the Tapeta. I just like that horse. That's why I wanted to mention. You mentioned the 7 here, Urban Legend. Looks like strictly the one to beat in here off his last performance. Here's the thing. coming in. He was in Bob Baffert's barn. He's changing everything. Barns, surface, Lasix. What do you get?
I don't know. Let's just be perfectly honest. He's been a big disappointment. They paid $1.6 million for him. It doesn't take Baffert horses 3 starts to break their maiden. He hasn't even broken his maiden. Obviously, this was a private purchase. Jose takes over. We'll see what we get. The layoff. A lot like Fly the W to me, Ron. You want to try to beat him? I'm going to try to do it today.
Yeah, and once they see that 1.3 million, 1.6 million, forget about it. So that is how we see this 9-race card, but we are not then. We have our world famous lightning round coming up this afternoon, and interested to see what you guys put together for this, and I guess the carryovers in Maryland.
Yeah, Ronnie talked about it at the start of the day, but there's 2 massive carryovers today at Pimlico as they begin their closing weekend. The Rainbow with races 3 through 8 today is over 350,000, I believe, and the Super High 5 in race number 6,
258.
258. So get at it. And our sister track, they do such a good job down there. We were just up there. You and Samantha did a phenomenal job. Preakness weekend, and fire, because those are massive, massive pools today.
Yeah, and the 8-race cards, so it's compact, ready to go. And then what else? What's this action?
We got stakes action
tomorrow. That's right, double.
Yeah, stakes filled Saturday here, and there you can see it, the Mr. Steel and the Big Drama. We'll stretch them out on turf, and you can see these are all part of the extensive horizontals that we have tomorrow, and those will be big pools tomorrow. So it's a good card tomorrow, Ron.
Very good card tomorrow, and so it goes. And then we have Brian's best bet this afternoon.
Yeah, best bet is for Liz Dobles on the Tapeta in race 6. You can see it there, the 7 Red Hot Spark.
And my best bet this afternoon is the number 4 Portofino off that game, second place finish last time out. And your long shot?
Still a capital L, Sword Zero. 20 on the morning line, but there were 2 scratches in there. But he will still be a big price, and he should be a big price.
And mine is in race 6, I believe, and is the 2R Firebird, 10-1, and it's absolutely, totally a speed play. Yeah, that's
there
it.
You go.
22 minutes to post. The one, the only, Pete Aiello will give you all the changes, all those jockey changes you need, and we'll be back here for race number 1.